Chaudelet, bitches, bastards, and all y'all's in betweens. George Wasaro here. Just gonna mess around with a few things here real quick before I start this off. Today the stream is about improvised firearms. What do I mean by that? Well, that means that the stream is basically we're going to be looking at a blog, one of my favorite blogs. Here, let me show you guys. Improvised firearms. But yeah, this is a WordPress blog. Homemade guns, there it is. And I just wanted to kind of just show everybody this blog here. What this blog basically does is they have photos and pictures and from guns that are confiscated and seized by police and military from around the world. And these, some of these are pretty crude. Some of these are pretty retarded looking. Some of them are actually really ingenious at times. So give me a little bit of a moment to set myself up here, guys, and then we will get going. Now, I am running this off the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, so hopefully I should not be having any issues streaming. The only issue I seem to be having at the moment is trying to actually get this in a way where I can talk and film and handle this at the same time and smoke and I think I'm adding too much coverage. That's why it's doing that. Well, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I know you guys are probably hearing a bunch of sounds of fidgeting and whatnot. I am partially sorry. Only partially. Okay, I think I've got this. Get this to work. Yay! I can film. I can smoke. Well, I need to test this out. Be better if fucking people were here to help me test this out, but they're not. At least not yet. Alright. Let's check the Twitter. What am I doing? Whatever. Yeah, damn it, Twitter fucking distracts me quite a bit. Alright, streaming, no. Shouldn't have to say any more than that, but okay. Alright, we'll do that. We'll go back to this. Okay. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. And well, looks like I got my first viewer. Chaudelet. No, I don't. Well, either way. Let me smoke some weed. Gotta have that authentic California breakfast. Hey, what's up, Cinder? So, yeah, I do have somebody watching. Okay. So I'm gonna start in a little bit, talking about guns. Oh, hey, thanks for popping up. But yeah, basically I'm gonna sit here, talk about guns. Not so much regular guns in general, but guns that people make at home. I got this blog up called Improvised Guns or Improvised Firearms. I've actually been following this blog for a lot of years. Homemadeguns.wordpress.com. There you go. And I've always been fascinated by the kind of shit that people come up on their own, especially in countries around the world where guns are really hard. Commercially made firearms are really hard to get by, or they're completely illegal. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit out there. Well, this one right here is a pretty good example. Let's see, homemade over and under 38 special Derringer. Damn, that's some shitty jointed fucking gun. I mean, the fucking trigger looks like a piece of a leaf spring, but wow, it's just. Now this one kind of was seized in Brazil. So this is posted on May 6th. And I do want to point out right now, if anybody else is watching, 38 special is going to be something you're going to run into a lot, especially with any guns at all, whether commercial or homemade, being in North America, being in North or South America. No, you're right, Cinder. I wouldn't trust fucking firing that thing. That thing looks like it would fucking break at the first shot. I'd honestly be worried about all those internal parts holding that trigger together flying into my fucking face. Let's go to the next one. This is from May 4th. 12 gauge plumbing fitting shotgun. Whoa. Holy shit. That's one way to go about it. That looks shady as fuck. Okay, what do I see here? I see there's obviously a coupler, pipe threaded piece. I don't see the trigger. Oh, okay. There's no trigger. What I'm assuming, the only way I could assume that it fires is if you see that bolt in the back. What they probably do is they pull the bolt back and they release it to firing. And I'm looking at this through my phone. If anybody else is watching this, do you guys see any triggers on this shotgun? Because I don't. Yeah, no, I don't see trigger. I'm assuming, yeah, it either that bolt that's on the back is sitting on a spring and it probably has a point on it to act as the firing pin for the primer. The only other thing I can think of it is that it's slam fired. For anybody who doesn't know what slam fire means, is slam fire is basic point of a basic weapon. I'll give you an example of a slam fire weapon. Take two pieces of tube, one of steel tube, one bigger than the other. Take the biggest piece, you cap it at the end, and you can epoxy, or the best thing to do would be to solder or weld a nail to the back end of it. You use the smaller tube and you'd make sure that tube is big enough to fit a shotgun shell. When you put the small tube inside the larger tube, the point is to slam it all the way to the back, to that end piece where you have the nail, and it will shoot out the shotgun shell. That's the concept of slam firing, if you guys can understand that. So I'm going to move on from this one here. That one was pretty gross. Where did this one come from? Okay, so I was right. Both are fired by pulling back and releasing the large spring-loaded bolt at the rear. Okay, but where is this from? Okay, they don't actually mention where that particular gun came from. Let's go to the next. Okay, this is better. A backyard Tech 9 submachine gun. Again, really big exaggerated trigger here. Exaggerated trigger guard too on this model. And you see magazine release, barrel look. Jeez, bad barrel can't be more than 3 inches long, so it's not gonna be accurate as shit. I mean, they were at least tactical enough to put a loop at the end of it so they could put a sling on it, so they had kind of an idea of what they were trying to do. Simple bolt. I don't see any sights on that. So if it's a Tech 9 copy of South American origin, okay, so I doubt it probably shot any 9mm, or at least full-size 9mm. A lot of people don't know. In South America and in Central America, for those people who can have guns, 380 is actually more popular than 9mm. 9mm is actually prohibited in many Latin countries because it's considered a military caliber. It's something that's usually only used by military and law enforcement. So 380 is just more available. And if you actually guys look at a big company in South America that makes guns, Taurus. Taurus has a huge line of 380 caliber handguns and rifles, all meant for both the Latin and European markets. I would trust this fake ass Tech 9 a lot more than that Derringer, or than that pipe fitting shotgun. Let's move on a little lower. Cobbled together 22 LR machine gun. Okay. Well, Mexico. Yeah, you're right, Russell. It is pretty much nothing more than a fucking drive-by weapon. This was from Mexico, so mag looks... I gotta say, the mag doesn't look like anything I've seen before, or at least anything commercial made. No, well, not really. Two-piece receiver, upper and lower. Charging handles on the top. So it's a kind of a Mac style design. Oh no, Uzi has that on the top too. Barrel again. Barrels pretty much look like they're within, again, 3 inches and whatnot. No. What am I? Damn it! I can't believe I forgot the fucking word. No finger guard or finger guard for the trigger. Trigger guard. There you go. There's no trigger guard. No safety, but then again, these are mostly made for criminals, so safety is irrelevant. What was the caliber again? 22 LR. I believe it. You guys be surprised. 22 is pretty easy to find in Mexico, and most shops have it, even though it's not legal for them to sell it. By the way, guys, funny fact. There's only one legal gun shop for the whole country of Mexico, and it's inside a military base. DIY break barrel shotgun. Okay. Let's see parts. Okay, so it's a trigger and hammer mechanism. I'd trust that. That looks a lot more legit. Never seen a can of Coke like that before. What does it say here? There's a classic traditional style 12 break barrel 12 gauge shotgun built entirely from scratch using scrap steel plate and tubing, which can be found in any decent hardware store. Okay. So yeah, that was here, made in the U.S. Which, if it was made here in the U.S., guys, just so you know, as long as you're not prohibited from having a firearm and you follow the NFA guidelines, you can legally build your own firearm. For rifles, you have to have at least a 16.5-inch barrel. The overall profile of the rifle has to be with 26 inches. And it can't be fully automatic. That's pretty much it as far as following the NFA rules. As state laws will obviously apply too. Oof. Excuse me. Now for shotguns, it's a little different. Shotguns have to have an 18.5-inch barrel have to be 30 inches in length overall. And depending on if you're going to use it for hunting, you might have to limit the rounds. But either way, just letting you all know that. 9mm submachine gun made from a paintball gun. Ooh. What money is that from? Okay. Paintball marker adapted into a crude 9mm submachine gun, which is used in Brazil. The frame modified to fit homemade magazines and a bolt and barrel have been roughly cut and drilled from brass bar. Huh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's interesting. Now, this isn't the first paintball gun that I've seen converted. I noticed not a lot of people actually do that. I mean, it would be a lot easier. Again, it's in Brazil, Latin American countries. Again, 9mm. It's really nothing that much special. I'm going to go down just a little further. ISIS-made anti-material rifle. Oh, shit. What? Is that fucking... What is that? I mean, I understand that maybe padding, but... Is that just a fucking plastic bag with, like, couch innards and blue Scotch tape? If anybody's listening to this, please, let's start. Somebody start guessing. What the fuck is that in the back? That's just... Oh, man. Whew. And let's just shrink this back down. Now, I wonder what caliber this is. Maybe a 20mm, 30mm. Okay, there we go. Homemade anti-material rifle manufactured by ISIS militants, which was captured in Mosul, likely chambered for the 12 by 7 times 108mm cartridge. So yeah, it may be just a 20mm. No, 12.7. I think that's a 50 cal still. Yeah, blue electric tape rags in a bag. Yeah, that sounds about right. Fuck, man, these fucking Arabs, man. Let's go down to the next one. Oh, again, 38 caliber. Just fucking Latinos and their 38s. Just they'll never learn. Let's see this here. That's one big ass fucking front sight blade on there. 5 shots. The grip kind of looks okay. I'll say that. The trigger looks a little better than I've seen in most. It has a hammer. It has a rear sight. That front blade sight still sticking out the way it does makes it look a little funny. Now, I don't see loading method, so I'm going to assume either one of two things. It's going to have a gate at some point in the cylinder, so they can open the gate and load the rounds in like an old 1873 Colt. Or they might have to pull out that pin right there and remove this cylinder entirely, kind of like a Remington 1858 model, and reload the bullets themselves. Which we'll see is Brazil. So let's go down to the next one here. Homemade 410 takedown shotgun. Move this to the side here. Interesting takedown survival style 410 shotgun with a bayonet type barrel disassembly and rectangular tube stock. Seized from Brazil. Zoom in a little bit more on that one. I like the takedown idea of it. I don't know why you would do it in 410. I gotta be honest. I mean, yeah, you can get triple aught buck Pretty much, Cinder, and this. I want to get to that in a bit, but you know, I'm waiting to we actually find some of these guns that are made in China. Like I said, I've been following this blog for a few years now, and the Chinese have come up with some pretty crazy shit. And you'll notice that a lot of these guns come from places with some of the most strictest gun laws out there. I mean, Brazil, particularly, of all places, has some very, very strict gun laws, and you know, they have some of the highest crime rate in Latin America. I mean, they weren't the murder capital of the world like El Salvador was recently, but they still have some pretty fucked up shit going on over there. Now with 410, yeah, you can use slugs, and they have triple aught buck, which is the equivalent of a 40 caliber bullet, and you've got about 4 or 5 coming out of them at once. But this would have to be, again, something short range, and I honestly think most people who are shot by this, unless they're shot in the fucking head or you know, you get a perfect shot in the heart with a slug, I think most people would live through this. That would be pretty painful to be just shot up by one of those. 40 caliber submachine gun in Brazil. Looks like another Tech 9 wannabe. This one's got a sling. Oh look, they carry their spare ammo in bags, and those bullets. Yeah, it's just generic remade ammo. 40 cal though. Oh, here's the guy. Here's the guy they caught with it. I like how some of these places actually put these guys out on display and take pictures with whatever narcotics and weapons and other crazy shit they find them with. Homemade submachine gun seized March 31st, 2017 in Bahia State. Unusually, this wheeler seized black market SMGs chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson, which, yes, it is weird. 40 Smith & Wesson is an American caliber, and it's something that hasn't really been widely adopted throughout the world, so yeah. Now, apparently these things usually have folding stocks, but this one's missing. It's folding stock. That mag looks pretty big, though. If you guys see, that's a big, long-ass stick mag. I don't have any pictures of the loaded mag here, but I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be a single stack magazine, meaning all the bullets pretty much line up straight in it. Oh fuck. Okay, I take it back. I'll shoot the 38 Special Derringer. I will fucking not shoot this. Oh shit, that is fucking gross. Who calls that a gun? So it's a break barrel. It's obviously a 12 gauge. Dude, just how the fuck are you supposed to fire this thing? I don't fucking see a trigger. I mean, is it another pull and release? This doesn't look like a gun. This looks like somebody fucking up and trying to make I don't know if you guys remember those well, here in the States back in the 80s and in the early 90s, they had these advertisements for these flare kits for your window or your door, where you would rig the window or door so if somebody opened it from the outside, the flare would go off. And some people actually found ways to put shotgun shells into these things as a nasty surprise for people. That's kind of what this reminds me of, but a more shitty redneck. No, not redneck. Just rednecks can actually come up with something half decent. This is some fucked up hillbilly version of that. But I'm gonna move on. That's not a gun. That's sad. Oh, what the fuck? Zip gun, improvised pistol. That is one weird. Hold on. The trigger. I don't know why the tape's on there. Maybe you just Maybe the thing is so shitty it just needs the tape to hold it in place, but it's a simple ass trigger. Well, that's a simple trigger. Zip gun whittled from wood and powered by an elastic. Oh, okay. It's a rubber band. It uses the rubber band to a piece of steel such as a car aerial will suffice as a car aerial. I don't know what the fuck a car aerial is, but apparently it'll suffice as a crude 22mm barrel. I mean, alright, but at that point, why go as far as fucking whittle? If you're gonna just use a rubber band to really fucking shoot it out, why are you just gonna go out and whittle this fucking wood handle or anything like that? Just two tubes, a nail, and a rubber band would have done the same thing. And with a 22, you wouldn't have much to worry about. But you know, I used to do meth, and drugs can make you do crazy shit. So, oh, what the fuck is this? Look at this, guys. Improvised semi-auto pistol seized in Brazil. Are those rails? For example, of the suppressor seized during an anti-drug operation marks. No, those aren't rails. Let's see this other one right here. Look at that fucking trigger, though. Fucking triggers all the way out to the front. Hammers extended to hell. That grip must suck. That whoever was holding on to that better have had some big ass fucking hands, because that grip don't look ergonomic at all. On the good note, he had a silencer on him, so I mean, I see 5 bullets there and an ID. No safety. Again, criminals don't care for safeties. Silencer. I cannot tell whether the silencer is removable or not. I mean, I see the brown marks at the end of the silencer, which, from what I've seen, these guns with their shitty welding, that's usually where the rust starts, but I can't say whether the silencer is permanently attached or not. They don't give you a caliber either. Oh, here we go. This is a simple. This is a good example right here of a simple ass zip gun, right there. You know, two pieces of tubing, one smaller, one bigger. Obviously, the smaller one holds a bullet. You guys see the rings there. Obviously, that's to pull. You pull the bolt back, and when we release it, just pretend this is the bullet. It'll strike the back end, which will ignite the primer. Boom. Simple shit. And you know, the best part about ones like these is you could easily get away with one of these looking like nothing more than some keychain decor. Or, hell, I mean, with a sticker or two, I could probably make these things look like tire gauges, and no one would ever be the fucking wiser. But, well, actually, here you go. Seized by 2 zip guns seized by police, which are assembled from readily available pipe fittings. Both consist of a threaded copper pipe and a brass hose nipple for a barrel. A striker attached to a string and a length of wire rope is pulled back and released to fire. There. See? It's a lot more easier. It will be a hell of a lot more cheaper. And again, I'm assuming that the people who got caught with these were were already caught getting themselves into some kind of fucking trouble or some shit. Because, yeah, I wouldn't suspect right off the bat that these things were guns whatsoever. I mean, you could even, the only case I can honestly make is it's somebody with, some kid with a cheap ass straight shooter pipe. Yeah. Actually, I gotta admit, I'm a little disappointed with the weed I got this last time. It's a bit garbage. Whoa. Illicit submachine gun production in Sao Paulo, Brazil. After an anonymous tip-off, police arrested a man in San Jose de Campos earlier this month, suspected of manufacturing and selling firearms. at least 10 homemade submachine guns have been produced by him. 2 of the models being previously seized, each were being sold off at between $1,000 to $1,700 US for local buyers. Whew. We're talking US dollars. That's a lot of money for fucking Brazil. That's pretty clean. That's. I mean, it's simple, but it is pretty clean looking there. That looks a lot more. I wouldn't say machine shop made, but I would say machine tool made. Wood is a lot more properly worked on that. You actually have a wood handguard, and you have a wood grip with ergonomic contours on the actual grip itself. Mag release is pretty simple. Oddly, in the front, behind the handguard, which is a little weird, because usually the mag release will be behind the mag well itself, but I mean, to each his own. I'm gonna assume it's probably a blowback type of mechanism. Here's another one right here. This one looks more beaten up. Yeah, I mean, I see a piece of the receiver there. I see the tubing in the middle of those two big pieces. I'm assuming is the bolt system, and yeah, that's got to be just a simple homemade what do they call it? Homemade blowback, simple blowback firearm. Here's some more right here. I mean, yeah, these look a little more roughed up, but they're more sophisticatedly made. All right, next one here, Israel. Oh, what the fuck? These fuckers call us infidels, this and that, and they're running around with these fake ass AR-15. Although, I mean, what the fuck else? Oh, and this garbage. Local made submachine guns seized by Israeli police during operations in January. Gotta go back to this AR. That's damn, dude. That looks. I've seen Tippmann paintball guns that look way better than that, and I'm talking to MagFit versions. That is nasty. And is that in fucking 22? You guys see that, right? There's a bit of a square right here at the end of what should be the magazine well. So I'm assuming this is either a 22 or some kind of pistol caliber wannabe AR-15, which would make sense because these are all pistol caliber homemade submachine guns, which that one right there is actually sporting a real AR-15 grip. Yeah, that's a standard A2 AR-15 grip right there. No safeties, obviously. Front and rear sights. Okay. We already read that. Next one here. Improvised 12-gauge pepper box pistol. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Dominican Republic. Seized following a gunfight. So someone actually shot the cops with this. Shot at the police with this. Holy fuck. I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust that. I mean, for anybody who doesn't know what a pepper box gun is, it's the handgun that came before the Colt Patterson, which was the original revolver, and so before them, as early as I think the late 1500s, there were these guns called pepper box guns, which were pretty much flintlock guns with multiple barrels that would rotate, but you had to rotate them by hand, and that was one of their biggest flaws. Back in those days, they didn't have the concept of shit. I'm trying to think of the word where two mechanical pieces line up together in sync. But basically, they didn't have the technology where barrels can lock themselves into place in order to create enough of a tight seal to be effective weapons, if you guys understand that. So every time you would turn the barrel after firing one shot, sometimes you wouldn't be able to align it properly, and you'd shoot and nothing would happen. Because of the way they were designed, sometimes gases would escape from certain areas of these guns, so therefore they wouldn't have the range they're supposed to have. The biggest problem is they were heavy as fuck. If I remember right, there's a channel you guys can check out called Forgotten Weapons. There's a guy there who does wonderful reviews on antique and military weapons from around the world that are going on auction here in the States and in Europe. And one of these pepper box rifles actually went for something like $77,000. But again, that's only because we're talking about a gun. The one that they sold off, I think, was from the 1700s, but it was a replica from a gun from 1570. But it was still handmade in the 1700s, and it still had that gas system. And again, check out his channel more for that. He's a great guy. But what I'm looking at in front of me, that's not great. That's garbage. That's just garbage. Improvised firearms seized in Russia. Okay. Improvised firearm purchased alongside a fired nail gun charge. Okay. We haven't gotten to China yet, but this is the first one I've gotten to. Now this thing here about nail gun charges. You guys don't. Some of you might not know, but for certain nail guns, especially the ones that aren't corded or use gas or air, what they use they use blanks. They use 22 blanks to shoot off nails, and in the Asian countries they use that a lot. So Chinese, when they do build their homemade guns, they do one of two things. They make it so that they're kind of semi-muzzle loaders, where you'll have a charged in case, but you'll still have to load the barrel to the front like the bullet to the front of the barrel like a muzzle loader, and then you can fire it. The other thing some people have done are they actually open the crimp in the blanks, and they will put their own homemade bullets on them to fire. They're not. I've been told they're not as effective as a factory produced 22. I don't know from personal experience, to be honest with you. So let's go to the next one here. Homemade break top revolver. Company with nail gun charger. Again, this is pretty much what I was telling you guys. I didn't know that the Russians did it this often as well too, but let's see. 410 over and under shotgun pistol. You know, that doesn't look too bad. That looks kind of rather Fallout-ish. Nope. I think I'm having some issues here in the stream. No, I'm good. Alright. Yeah, it looks pretty Fallout-ish. 410 is a weak sauce round for a shotgun. Unless you're in close range. But yeah, it does. It does, Cinders. What I'm weirded out is by this little lever here at the top. That's the only thing that's throwing me off, and I'm trying to think, what is it? I wonder if it's actually like a... No, you know what it is? It's for, to release the barrels. That's what it is for. I'm just not thinking right. It's weird to see it where it is. Because it's not to select the barrels, because you have two triggers there. Oh, here we go. Seized in Delhi. Locally made automatic handguns seized from a gang in Delhi, including a mini carbine, which is similar to example seen produced in Pakistani tribal areas such as Dada, Adamkel. This fits with a noticed shift in trends of locally made guns in India. Other examples seized in Delhi police this month. Okay, let's check these out first. It's a Beretta-ish Tech 9. These are they look very Beretta inspired. If you actually take a look at the backstrap design and the way the barrels thin out to the front, there's a lot of Beretta influence in these. That one right there kind of reminds me of a Smith & Wesson Model 59. So does this one here at the end. But no, shit. Now the only problem with the Hindi people here is when they say automatic handgun, they could just mean semi-automatic. They could just mean you don't have to cock the hammer back to fire it. So the English here is a bit confusing. And the reason I can prove that is if you guys go back and look at some videos up on Google or on YouTube about pellet guns. There was an issue where my battery's almost dead. I thought I had this connected. Don't worry, I got a connector. There was an issue back in shit. I'm sorry, I went too far up. There was an issue in India a few months ago with protesting and whatnot, and what the fuck did I just do? Okay. It's some protesting and whatnot, and the police over there in India were using, well, in the news they're saying they were using pellet rifles, and they were telling everybody that in the outside media as well. But when you actually look at the weapons they're using grenade launchers. They're using 37 and 40 millimeter grenade launchers, and they're using shotguns, real steel shotguns. What they're not telling you is what they're shooting from those shotguns. Yes, there are pellets, but it's birdshot. So they were crowd controlling in India people with fucking birdshot, and claiming it was a less lethal alternative. And that's one of the reasons you got to watch out with any reporting from India in regards to weapons, because they're a little backwards here and there. Okay, here's another example of what we were seeing. Now this one actually has some writing in it that I am not gonna bother making out. Hey, this one might be actually a little better. Cannot make that out anyways, but that's a small ass trigger guard on this one. Blade style trigger. Looks like a 1911 had sex with a retarded SIG P224, 226, and it had a bastard child. That's interesting looking. That's real interesting looking. Also interesting choice in the angle of the grips, but to each their own. Sledgehammer shotgun. A fine pair of 12-bore hammer guns handcrafted by Brazil's world-renowned Travella artisans. A demonstration of a weapon system presented in the video below. Okay, let's watch this video. If you guys can't hear it for some reason, let me know.
Uma simples marreta, né? De Viana, o bordão de vidro, que na verdade isso aqui é uma arma de fabricação caseira, calibre 12. É municiada, mostrar o princípio aqui de funcionamento, ó, enroscada, municiada, enroscada aqui, né? Ó, ela vai ser enroscada, aqui, ela, depois de enroscada, eu tirei munição por questão de segurança. Simples, aciona.
Oh, okay.
Tá vendo? Fica atento aí nas abordagens aí, policiais aí. Valeu? Sirva de alerta aí pros...
Alright, I get it. That's pretty smart. I mean... Ah, shit. Looks like my battery's starting to heat up. Oh, man. Oh, shit, my battery is fucking heating up. Alright, I'm gonna stop this here. Damn, too bad we had to stop at this point with the sledgehammer shotgun. That is fucking... That is pretty cool looking. I mean, that's pretty smart. I work construction. I'll be honest. I'll tell you, I could probably get away with this, carry one of these things fucking left and right every day, and no one would ever fucking notice. But yeah. All right, guys. We've actually been. How long have we been at? I've been at this already. Let's see. Oh, fucking over 45 minutes. Yeah, dude. Thanks for watching, Cinders. Thanks for anybody else who's watching. Y'all, if you guys like the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Y'all have a good one.